Welcome back to For Fossils' Sake. In episode 1, we visited the National Aquarium of New Zealand, where the fossil legacy of Joan Wiffen is honoured, a self-taught paleontologist who changed the story of dinosaurs in Aotearoa forever. Her discoveries of marine reptiles and the first confirmed dinosaur fossils in New Zealand challenged everything we thought we knew about our prehistoric past. Now, we've come to the heart of that story, Mangahoanga Valley, hidden deep in the Hawke's Bay. This is where Joan spent decades of her life chipping away at the unknown. This place is rugged, remote and wild, just as Joan described it. Reaching it takes determination and a little imagination. And here it is, Joan's hut, still standing, still watching over this ancient valley. Simple and weathered, it's a place of quiet resilience, just like Joan herself. She built this as a base for her fossil expeditions, and it remains exactly as she left it. Joan wrote, "We needed something solid, something that could weather the storms and the years, and so we built a hut from timber we hauled in ourselves. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. And it still stands, weathered and quiet just as she left it." Out here in the Mangahoanga, there was no electricity, no modern comforts. But for Joan, this was the base camp for discovery. The hut was no luxury, she wrote. It was cold, cramped and full of spiders. But it was close to the fossils, and that made it perfect. Joan and her team, I must note, spent weeks at a time here, returning each day with muddy boots, hammers, and sometimes, just maybe, a fragment of prehistoric history. Joan wrote, "Out here, you learn to love silence. The bush talks if you listen long enough, and sometimes the rocks do too. And here in that silence, we begin to understand her drive, pull of Maunga Taniwha, the possibility that something ancient still waits beneath the surface." Joan's book, The Valley of Dragons. She wrote, "It wasn't a career, it was a compulsion. Something in those rocks was calling and I had to find it. This stream has revealed mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, turtles, and even a theropod dinosaur, a record once believed impossible in New Zealand. Joan's instincts were right. Being here, it's easy to see how one woman with a hammer and a dream could unlock an ancient world." Joan wrote, "Each morning, I'd set out with hammer and hope. Each evening, I'd return with muddy boots and maybe a bone. Sometimes nothing, but that was the job." To stand here in Joan Wiffen's footsteps is surreal. Joan built this with her own hands and from it rewrote our history books. After years of research, it's been an honour to stand on this land. Thanks to Joan, the valley is now protected under a covenant, ensuring it remains untouched for future generations. This also means it's not accessible to the public. No longer used for forestry, it's now part of a vast native restoration project with dedicated management and volunteers reintroducing flora, breeding kiwi, and returning the land to its natural state of glory. How fitting that Joan's historic hut stands here. Reaching the site wasn't easy. It required collaboration with GNS Science and permission from private landowners through locked forestry gates. Surrounded by active logging, hunting zones and conservation land, this valley and Joan's hut is a secret hidden gem in the heart of New Zealand's fossil history. But our story doesn't end at this hut. Next episode, we step into the river itself, the place where New Zealand's first dinosaur bones were found. And who knows what we could find. Stay tuned for episode 3, because this valley might still have secrets left to share.